Hey, how you doing? Let's do it to it. Puzzle rush, let's do it. Oh, drat. Oh, drat, I should have taken that one. I hung my queen. Okay. I gotta drink some tea and then get on this. Let's do it again. Oh, that was bad. I did the wrong one. Ooh, that was good. Whoa. That's me. I forgot that I had to do that first. Some of these ones are pretty tough. I need to be on the lookout for the correct checks. I had the right idea, just wrong checking point. Let's try it one more time. Alright. Can't be afraid to fail, because if you do, then you won't try and get better. Oh, Not sure about that one. Ah, I can't believe I didn't see that. That's a straightforward one. Uh, oh, it's a draw. Okay. Oh, okay. Alright, let's give it one more shot. Don't get too fast there. Just keep it at a good pace. What? I don't understand to do one more. That was horrible. All night takes. Let's try that again. Okay. Oh, come on. That's mate. Okay. Come on. Oh, good. We'll keep it there. Okay, that's right. Yeah, some of those were pretty difficult. I didn't see that. I don't know why I didn't see that one. Okay. So you're probably wondering why this, right? And you're probably thinking, why doesn't he just play this? Because of here, and we double attack there. The rook here and the knight here double attack the bishop, and they would lose material. So okay. Alrighty. Let's see which one we want to do first. Not too bad. Okay, let's do this. Let's do the end game, the Magnus end game. I have to do port editor. Port editor. I gotta remember to do that. And I'll have it be that just in case they need a castle too. Double bishops, one rook. Okay, still good. Alright. Oops, I need one pawn. Do 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 do. Alright. Let's do it to it. Let's do this here. 8. Magnus is white, his opponent is black. So Magnus plays knight to e5. Carlos is simply simplifies to a minor piece endgame after knight takes here, which would be not the best move. G takes. Rook d8, king g7, and rook takes. Rook d7. Black would have active pieces for the pawn. So for the pawn, black would have active pieces, and Magnus doesn't want that. So rook takes, knight takes, and bishop c7. And knight c5 here to go after this pawn. And king f7 to guard the pawn. Bishop g4 to attack. And then e5 for defense. Bishop d6 is an exclam move because you're forcing the knight to a square it doesn't want to be on. Knight takes. c5. Knight f4. c4. And black has compensation for the pawn here. So bishop f3. King e7. Rook f1. King activation. Bishop b7. Or b6. b4. a5. a3. Bishop takes c5. If a takes b, king d6, knight e4 check, king d5, d2 check, king d6, and king e2, bishop b7, d3, activating the king, and bishop c8. The position would be equal at this point. Takes here. Now black's bishop is passively placed here forever. King e2. Now Magnus just activates the king. d7. Bishop a4, which is an interesting move here. Sorry about this, need to enlarge the needed to enlarge it. White's plan to improve the position with f4 is good. So g5 to prevent f4. There's b4. A takes, and then bishop d3. Bishop b5. c2, a4, b2, king e6, and bishop e4, g5, g4, knight e7, bishop c2, bishop b5, b3, knight b3, I mean king b3, and white wins as given by Jack Peters. This must be a grandmaster who analyzed this game. G3. Carlsen wants to create a passed pawn. The author of this one book here that we're going over, the French, not the end game, mentioned that potentially G4 works as king D3. Oops, sorry. King C7. That was my fault. I was a little too ahead of myself. He's saying that G4 actually would work here too. And King D3 and A4. King D3, A4. F4. G takes F3. Bishop takes F3. King C7. G4. Bishop E3. Or E6. Huh? How in the world does... Hold on, did I... They're saying that not G4 for a while. Well, no. Instead, G4, A4, King D3 actually. Black halter. G4 was a mistake by black. Losing mistake after the capture would have been enough time to transport the bishop. Like, this is what they're saying here. Excuse me. He takes F. He takes F. G takes F. G takes F. Bishop E6. King D4. And King C7. E5. And then Bishop C4. And black should hold without much trouble in this line. But he blundered F5, and now it's all over. Exclam here. Because what will eventually happen is we're gonna be able to get the pawn rolling, and it's gonna be over. Black cuts the bishop off, and more importantly obtains a highly dangerous pass pawn which poses a considerable threat. Bishop D7, F6 exclam. King D8, Bishop E6 would lose to F5 here. That's dangerous. King D8, King D3, A4. The pawn is dangerous, but not dangerous enough. If King E8, Bishop G6, King F8, King E4, A4, King takes E5, and white wins. D3, A4, G6, Bishop G6, hey, how you doing? Yep. I thought that might be. Bishop E6. King C3 here was actually a mistake by Magnus in this line. This was somewhat of a mistake too. He was concerned about the B5 break. Yeah, it was a mistake because what happened was he was fearing the break B4 when there really wasn't anything to fear. He should have went for E4 here. King E4 would have actually won him the game sooner, because there's no way for the king to be, I mean, even if the break did happen, like they had King D7, but I'm just saying though, if this happens here, then you have that, and then if you try to take here, you could actually take there, and if here you push, and then if queens, now you queen would check, and the king has to come up. Queen could actually check via this way, and then come in and check, and then check, and then bishop in here it's basically over. If they try pushing, you get checkmate. So that's kind of the idea. That's why he played king d7 rather than going to that. King takes pawn. The king protects the bishop. Bishop b3 here, and then bishop f5. King e8 to stop this pawn from advancing, and king d6. Now we're gonna take scope on this pawn here. And so a bishop here, they actually have bishop. So I think this might be a mistake. Let me see. Is it fast enough? Yeah, I think that was a mistake. Okay. On my part here, if this was a mistake. This is what the correct move was. This is actually winning. And then if the king moves here, you take there, you take. Now if you push there, you can actually come up here. If they push, they queen, but you queen would check. And if he comes up, you potentially, let me see here, check. And then after the king moves, boom, you win. And his opponent played the only losing move, which is king double ? Blunder. Loki chose an unfortunate square for his king, and he spotted that after bishop f5, that bishop e6. A second, hold on, what was that? Oh, bishop h5, sorry. Would and then bishop e6, king d3. Oops, I moved the king to the wrong spot. King d3, and see what did I do wrong here? h5. There, king. Oh, bishop c6 there. Black holds at this point. Okay, so if bishop f5 here, oh, bishop f5 for white. Sorry, I got that one messed up there. E4 is a really strong move. Exclam. This cuts off a little bit of the attack. Bishop takes g4. King e8. Now this move gets an exclam and it holds, so black will be able to hold here. Had to be patient though. Bishop f7. This is an exclam as well, because after bishop, we can't trade. We have to retreat back, because if we actually traded, I'm thinking that this might be losing, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe just a draw. Well, could he actually, yeah, he can infiltrate in via there. Oh yeah, this would be losing, wouldn't it? So he can't actually take. He has to retreat back. bishop e6, king d4, and then f7, and black escapes a loss. But after this move, bishop e4 puts black in, as this glam puts black in Zugzwang. And whatever black plays, he loses something. Bishop f7, king f5, bishop f check, king f8, e8. I mean, if you were thinking bishop here, this actually loses a piece, because what would happen is if king comes there, you first of all could queen would check, which probably taking is best at this point. And then there, or what you could do is queen, and then take here, and then when the king comes back, grab there. There's a couple lines you can go down. e8, g takes, bishop takes g4. Magnus wins a pawn, but he still has to do plenty of work to actually win this. d5, bishop d5, h5 check, king e7, bishop g6, keeping the pressure on, and then e4. There's king d8. There could be if you just wanted to wait, and then g4, or if king e6, e4, bishop c4, and bishop e8, and this wins material galore. g4 would be played by Magnus, and king e6, and then f4 exclam at this point. The pawn is really hard for black to live with now. King e7, h4, because this g pawn restricts the h pawn. That's why they play g4 first. If hold on, what did I do? H, king f8. If bishop takes f7, then bishop takes e4, and he's got two pawns. This is under fire, and these two pawns will outdo the king, because we talked about him in Jeremy Silman's book, his endgame course. I'll show you a line after this, until we get done with this here. d4, e7, h5. Is an exclam move, because you're thinking, wait a second, don't you want to break? Yeah, in due time. Just calm down. Everything's fine. Just let everything be. And then he comes back, grabs here, and then e8, bishop f5. Magnus gets ready to push the e pawn up the board. It goes. King f6, e4, king g5, bishop c8, king f4, e5. The threat is e6, pawn e6, so b4, a takes b4, a3, king c3, and king takes e5, king b3, and Magnus did not make any exceptionally strong moves, but he played well, and when the pressure caused Van Well to tire, so that he made a mistake, Magnus made him pay dearly for it. Magnus brought down a strong grandmaster in this game, a really strong grandmaster. But if we go back really quick, and then we'll get on to the French defense, is right, let me see, where is that? If takes here, not there. Wait, let me see if let me do, not bishop takes. If here, we have this line here. I believe it's losing, because yeah. Now this is, oops, not there. Where? No. There we go. This is an interesting move here. If you take, then these two pawns will actually protect themselves. Boom, and there's no way to stop that. So it's part of Jeremy Silman, and we have it in our endgame course, not the Magnus one, but just the endgame course. You can go through it on, just type in business law and go to the studies, and you can go through all of Jeremy Silman's book. I tried to put it in there. There's like 3 individual files on the endgames. So okay, let's now start into our studies on the French exchanged variation. This one here, hold on, you get a sip and then we'll get started. This is the author as black and D Karizna-Sky as a white, and he gets the exchange played on him, the exchange French. So we're looking at it from the author's side of the board. So e4, e6, d4, d5, e takes d, e takes d. Again, this is the third straight opponent who played the exchange against the author here. And bishop d3, knight c3, knight c6, c3, bishop d6, knight f3, knight g e7. This is a minor alteration from the last idea of bishop g4. This is just a small one. Bishop c2, bishop g4, and knight bd2. One time I'd actually seen a game where bishop has taken here, and I think you actually lose because of this. Yeah, you do. Yep, so you can't do that. Queen d7. This again renewing the idea of f5 and long castle in f5. So castles, long castle. Black must play with great haste here. You can actually play bishop f5, rook e1, bishop takes, oops, sorry, not f4, bishop f5, rook e1, bishop takes, queen takes, and then castles. Is a dull and even game, which is not the author's type of to his liking. So the author wants more to it, more attack. So b4, white begins his pawn storm immediately. Bishop f5. Exclam here. We're trying to rid ourselves of the bad light squared bishop and get rid of white's good one. Trading away white's light squared bishop in the exchange French soon will find to be intolerable decision, and attempting to cover his weakness, weakening light squares. This is a light square weakness thing. So a4, b5, so hold on, what did I do? Bishop there, a4, okay, but we have to, instead of a4, there's b5 that could be played. Bishop takes b3, queen takes a5, knight to b3, knight b3, knight c4, and a4 here to try to come crushing down, and then queen f5, exclam. And this idea is to exchange down and then potentially walk the king up to D, bring the rooks over, and then castle by hand opposite color. So bishop takes, queen takes, and queen f5, exclam idea. Just because the player castled opposite sides of the board doesn't guarantee a wild attack. In this case, black strategically is eliminating both white's good bishop and his queen, after which the queen side push may later become a liability in the endgame. Takes, and then knight takes. If queen e2 to try to keep the queens on the board, this is a dubious move because it's making your queen passive, loses time. Queen c2 at this point is an exclam move because now you're coming in and causing chaos in the position. Rook a3 and knight f5. Another tempo idea win. So f5, knight b3, and then h5. Harry. Okay. Bye-bye. Well, be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow then. Bishop d2, f6, a5 is dubious. Avoid fixing pawns on the same colors as your bishop. Avoid fixing pawns on the same color as your bishop. So now a6. This freezes the white queen pawns on dark squares while weakening all the light squares. Knight c5 is also a dubious move again. This is terrible because of now that white played this, it's almost over. There is d takes c. Understanding b the pawn, then d4 can actually be played here. Rook fd1, rook h e8, and king f1. Get the king involved. D takes c3, bishop takes c3, f2 e7, exclam. Bishop e1, rook takes d, rook takes d, rook d8, rook b1, and rook d3. If rook takes, then king takes, and this actually is better for black because the knight's going to be coming in, and then you're going to have two attackers. So you could try like knight here, knight in there, knight there, Knight takes. Knight actually takes would win there. There really is no way to stop this now that I think about it. Yeah, it's all over. D3. Tie down to all the light squares, the bad bishop too. A7. Eyeing E4. Knight is there. C6, which was kind of it's a dubious move for black. Better, a super flexible move. I wanted to stabilize the queen side, but with hindsight, this is inaccurate since this leads to several promises. Black should have played, in his opinion, but later back to there's no way to get back here. So C3, C6 deprive the knight of C6. That's kind of why it's a bad move. And and also D7 now has a problem, and C6, you can't get a knight there like what we talked about. B5, and the correct plan is to leave C6 open and post the knight on B5. Excuse me, and post the knight on B5. This is the correct plan, not the other one. Knight D3, J5, cutting off F4 and the bishop from going to F4. Rook F, E1, Rook D to E8, and this is to challenge the open file. The correct rook, since D8 has nothing to do with the closed D file, so this rook has nothing to do, and this rook, the H rook, does have a lot of power that it can be used for over there. King F2, F1, and then knight to B5 here. Rook takes, F check, rook takes, and then king to E1, which is again another dubious response. Now white's path to a draw is about secure, but because white's a pawn is not passed, rook takes, knight takes E1. A mistake. This was a mistake here. A big time mistake. The correct actually take was bishop E1, and then knight to A3. And the idea is knight to C4. So he took wrong. Knight to B2 is actually an exclam move. knight c4, knight takes, d takes, h3, knight e7, g4, h takes, and knight d5. With a good knight versus a bad bishop. Knight a3. Exclam here. Knight e2. Sorry, king e2. Knight c3 or c4. Knight d3. Knight takes a5, and then f4 is a mistake again. g4. h3 takes, and then knight c4. Knight f2. Exclam alert combination. Black to move. Exclam. Let's see if you can find it. Black to move. Exclam. I'll be right back. Black to move. Exclam. you said G3 check, exclam, you were right. That's an exclam. Congratulations. King D3. Knight takes. Oops, sorry. I had knight G3. Knight takes D2. King takes D2. Knight E4, exclam. He takes. And then D takes E, and white resigned here. The king pawn is lost, and my opponent here resigned. So we're going to put a mark around here. If he played F4 or F5, A5, E3, A4, he takes, A3, D3, A2, King D, C2, and he misses it by 1. And the whole thing is swap. If you do the castle king, swap off the bishop, trade the queens, and play over the white squares, B2, B4, and A4. There's also one other line that we have to go down. 34. If King E3, knight takes F. Oops, not in that. Knight takes F2. King takes F2. B6. Exclam. B takes. RC takes. King B2. King B7. King E3. King takes. D2. B5. D3. A5. H4. A4. F5. A3. C2. King C4. And black wins easy, as king there, and you just pick up the pawns. And if he comes here, you grab that. He comes there. Grab that. You come there. And then you grab that. You just grab everything. Okay. Now we'll do 6 puzzles. And then we'll log for the night. Let's get on it. queen check, and g7's mate. So congrats on that. These are a little tough, but we will find them out. Yes, we will. If he plays there, if he tries blocking here, that's mate. If he takes, that's mate. If there, that's mate. So there's no way to stop mate. It's all over now. Let's do it again. Onward and upward. We're onward and upward. Yes, we are. 2 rooks. 1, 2. 2 bishops. 1, 2. 1 knight. 1 knight. 1 bishop. 2 rooks. Okay, let's get some pawns now. Okay, black needs to have some pawns. There we go. If takes, queen takes, then that's mate. And if queen here, then sorry, queen there. Ah, that's it. Bishop check, rook takes, and then queen takes a7 is mate. check, bishop, and then bishop b5 mate. Two more. Bishop, pawn f5, king takes f5, and then d is checkmate. d3 is checkmate. One more. Alright. Oops, I need a pawn right here. Excuse me, that was a hiccup. Queen takes g. He takes, and it's mate. There's nothing else that can happen. Okay. Let's send this up. We'll call it. Do you have any questions before I log off? Anything on what we went over or any of the puzzles that you have any questions on? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Wanted to thank you all for logging on. You know what? Sometimes it's really difficult to get things done, but sometimes it's the best. And the Lord Jesus always makes a way where there seems to be none. So what we have to do is just trust and obey. And I always think about what do you do when you have your free time? Do you spend it doing stuff that'll help the career that you want or the path that you want to go down? Maybe it's schooling, maybe it's just something getting better, whatever it is. Do you spend the time with your information? And the Lord's always, as I like to say, watching, because you know what? He is the I'm going to say it, Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, and that's the whole thing. Like chess has an opening, a middle, and an end game. That's that's the gift that the Lord's given us is the present. We have the past, the present, and the future. And so what you do with your present will affect your future, and your past you can learn from. So just keep that in mind when you have a few extra minutes or so. What do you spend your time doing? And will it help my plan? So if you want to think about it, get a plan and stick to it. But it all comes down to the chest cruncher, team chest cruncher model of hanging up your coats, hanging up your hats, sitting down and studying when most won't, even when you have free time sometimes, and studying when most won't, even on your free time. It'll make all the difference. Trust me, my friends, it will. And as Wesley So says to the Lord Jesus, and as I say, God bless, and I'll see you next time on Chest Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. And I wanted to give a shout out to Christina Yip for winning the Ladies Junior Championship, and a Wonder for winning the Junior Championship, and Shobalov also for winning the Senior Championship. So, and wanted to thank Rex Singfield and Jenny Singfield for hosting that so that the chess community could enjoy it. So thank you to all you. I'm giving you a shout out for that. So thank you. And I hope many more tournaments to come. Okay. Well, as you know what we say, what did Hannibal Smith say? Forcing moves are really important. They're what push the position for you. If you have a forcing move, it either goes to two things. That if it's yours, you're forcing your opponent to do something. A win or a draw. And if you lose, you know what? Take it, learn from it, improve, and get better. But remember what Tom Thumb Thumb said. Treasure your victories and learn from your losses. And remember that mistakes do not define you. So don't let them define you. It's how you handle the mistake that defines you in the end. Okay, 2 thumbs up. Great job on sticking with me, doing the stuff, coming on, having a good time. And you know what? Improving, and always remember this. Honor the Lord Jesus with your talents. 2 thumbs up. Hoorah, be blessed, and I will see you tomorrow.